Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good.
Good.
Um, Absolutely loved the movie, first of all, and your performance was amazing. This is your, if I'm not too bad at math, this is your fourth collaboration with Yorgos Lanthimos, including the the next one.
Yes, this was yeah, exactly. This was the
Yeah,
third, and then we shot the fourth one.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, kind of kindness.
yeah.
How what is it that draws you to him or you to together? What makes your collaboration? What makes you coming back to each other, so to speak?
Well, we get along very well and have a lot of respect for each other. And I think one of the biggest things too is that his work really speaks to me. And I every time he's drawn to a project, it seems like when he tells me about it, I'm like, well, that sounds exactly like something I would like to do. So I think we are very into similar material. And then with that trust and our kind of rapport, it's so nice. And he also has a and it's something that I love too. I've, in the past I've worked with
Mm.
the same director multiple times or the same actors multiple times. But with Yorgos, it's like the crew remains mostly the same. The companies, or Willem and Margaret Qualley were both in Kinds of Kindness after Poor Things, and it's like the same AD, same cinematographer. It's like a troupe that sort of moves together, and then new people come in, and um, so that energy is really great because it's felt really conducive to just trying things and being able to feel more free.
And that's unusual. Usually, it's not usually
Yeah,
the whole crew that moves along. That's
yeah,
yeah, awesome.
it's very
Uh,
cool.
um, what was your favorite thing about Bella as a character? And a
Everything.
extremely interesting character.
Everything. Yeah, she's so interesting. I think her, just her openness, her curiosity, and her, lack of judgment, self-judgment or judgment of others, and just taking everything in such a, excited and open-hearted way that was all really, really inspiring.
Do you have a favorite scene?
I don't have a favorite
Mm.
scene because her development is so rapid that it felt like every day as we were doing it, it was like a new Bella. So it never got, too stagnant in any way. But I mean, I did love doing the dance scene with Mark because we had rehearsed it for so long, and then to finally be there doing the scene was really cool. And he's so funny, and it's just always so easy to be with Mark.
Yeah, it felt like an unusual role for him, but he was so perfect in it.
Yeah, that was, I think he brought such a, because that character on the page is, you're just like, oh my God, this guy is just so toxic and narcissistic. And Mark brought some weird lovability to Duncan where you kind of like, he's so funny and you can feel his like, this pathetic energy underneath that he sort of infused it with. And it really is amazing what he did.
Speaking about inspiration and such for the character, someone said that there are echoes of Frankenstein in the story, and it certainly is. But was that something you used in your work with the character?
I mean, I didn't personally use like Frankenstein
Mm.
as a reference point just because the novel and the script that Tony adapted were so kind of like
Mm.
robust, but that obviously it was an inspiration for Alistair Gray, who wrote the book. Um, and yeah, and I guess in that sense too, it's this is she's a human being, obviously, but she's also a creature. Like this is not something that could actually occur. Um, so the sort of invention of her and the way she moves and all of that was does definitely overlap with Frankenstein, but in a very female way, I would say.
All right. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I'm really looking forward to your next collaborations and your next movies, for that matter.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Nice to see you. You too.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
how
how
are
you
you?
been?
Nice to meet you. Uh, Loved the movie, first of
Good.
all.
Great.
That's good.
That's good. Absolutely fantastic. I wanted to maybe ask you about the characters. So, Mark, um, this feels like kind of an unusual role for you. Uh, was it was it tough to get into to get into the role to be
Uh,
comfortable?
I mean, I had my doubts, and it's not it wasn't an easy way in with the accent and the time period and all those things, but it was a kick from the very beginning, and we had a wonderful. We had 3 weeks of rehearsal, and it was very playful, and very safe feeling and intimate. And we became very close with Yorgos and each other as a cast. So it gave you a lot of space to explore. And the more I dug into that language and the story and the physical life of the character, the more fun I was having. And Willem was pushing me along the whole way. go go further. go bigger.
Blame it on
Uh,
It was your fault.
yeah, how was that for you, Willem? I mean, speaking of the tough parts,
the tough
was
part.
it finding the toughest part of finding a character, or what was it the makeup, or was it the character
No,
in itself?
the makeup helps you. It was, I enjoyed it so much. It was a good team. It's a beautiful story. I love the character because it doesn't remind you of anything. You don't know what it is until you do it. I really enjoyed it. There's very little reflection about it because I was in it, doing it, and I was happy doing it. And I haven't thought much about it beyond that.
Okay. Um, Yorgos Lanthimos is one of my absolute favorite filmmakers working today, probably of all time. How was it working with him, and what was it that drew you to this story, this screenplay?
You know, I knew all of his movies, and I was a fan. So when he called me, I knew I wanted to work with him. And then to work with him, he's I always say he's really a polymath. He knows many things about many different things. And when we did these rehearsals, we didn't work so much on the scenes or working on the characters. He really made a company. And the other thing it did, I mean, as far as creating a trust and a kind of playfulness, getting people in good dynamics with each other, helping each other. But as important was you understood his character, his way of approaching things. And the truth is, he's very gentle, and there's kind of a shyness about him, and a laid backness about him. But he's fierce in his view. So he really gives you a great setup, puts you out there, and then gently, adjusts you. But it's not a lot of, he gives you a lot of material to work with, but there's not a lot of talking about things. He's very about creating a world and then having us inhabit it, see what happens, and then as he watches, having impressions and adjusting. It's very practical. It's fun. It's not
Pressure.
labored. There's a playful quality to it. And playful always has kind of a negative connotation, like it's not serious. But his playfulness is, it's reflected in the movie. It's that kind of questioning. It's that kind of not taking certain things for granted, and really examining things through your experience, putting you out there and seeing how you feel, and then deciding about what that experience is.
All right. How much of the character was in the screenplay, and how much did you work out during the rehearsals, so to speak?
so much of it was in the screenplay. There's a
And in the
style, the
costumes, and
costumes,
in
the
the set.
sets, in each other's characters, our interactions. You the script tells you quite a bit about who you are and who you're playing. And so when we're in rehearsal, that's always sitting there. And it's like a seed that's planted in you from your first time you read it, and it's growing in you. And in rehearsal, you're sort of giving it a lot sunlight and food and a love of attention. And so it comes to life. But it really starts with the script.
When the elements are strong, like that language, the syntax, how it, what the rhythm, the choice of the words, it tells you how to perform. You're not obsessed with inventing things or making choices. Stuff happens. You apply yourself. You go to receive the elements around you, and something happens. It's organic. It's alchemical. It's not us all thinking, well, what do we want to point to? What do we want to show? It's not about showing. It's about doing. And that's from, in my experience, that's what I prefer. That's the best way to approach performing and making movies.
All right, that's awesome. I seem to have gone a bit over time, so thank you very much for your time.
All right.
And have a nice rest of the day.